All right, good evening and welcome to the Youth Employment Community Conversation hosted by the Maryland State Department of Education. My name is Richard Kincaid, and I lead the Office of College and Career Pathways, which includes youth apprenticeship and industry-recognized credential programs for students across the state of Maryland. It is my pleasure to serve as the designee for State Superintendent of Schools, Mohammed Choudhury, who's not able to be here with us tonight to facilitate this virtual conversation. I'd like to welcome our community conversation participants and viewers on YouTube Live as well. At this point in the summer, many students are engaged in work programs and seasonal jobs. So we're focusing our discussion tonight on youth employment, from training programs to the hands-on work experience that will prepare our students to be successful in their chosen careers. The Blueprint for Maryland's Future reimagines what today's students must know and be able to do to ensure success in their careers. And in our state, we've set a goal that 45% of high school graduates must complete an apprenticeship and/or an industry-recognized credential by the 2030-2031 school year. Through our discussion tonight, we will explore the work-based learning components of the Blueprint and provide the opportunity for students to engage in career programs of study that are aligned to high-skill, high-wage, and in-demand careers. Students and staff connected to apprenticeships, career and technical education programs that result in industry-recognized credentials, and employment programs are with us this evening to share their experiences with all of us. Before we hear from our students, educators, and employers, I want to provide an opportunity for our state board member to provide opening remarks. Thank you for joining us tonight, Dr. Joshua Michael, and congratulations on your recent election as Vice President of the State Board of Education. I'd like to pass the baton over to you to offer your greetings and welcome remarks to our group tonight.
Thank you, Richard, and thank you to the department and their team for helping to bring together this critical conversation tonight on youth employment and career pathways in Maryland. My name is Josh Michael. I began my service on the state board a few months ago in April, and I also had a stint about 2 decades ago as a student member on the state school board. And so I am delighted tonight that we have so many students joining us to share the student and perspective as we make important decisions pertaining to college and career readiness in our state. I am delighted to bring greetings on behalf of the board. Look forward to listening and learning a lot from students, staff, and community partners on your experiences with our apprenticeship and CTE programs throughout the state. Particularly, what has worked well for you, and where are there areas that we can improve? Career readiness, we know, is a critical component of the Blueprint and the state board's strategic plan. And as we continue to build out pathways for students to chart successful post-high school educational and employment experiences, gathering feedback from our students, school staff, and community and higher education partners is vital to removing barriers and roadblocks for participation in apprenticeship programs and in other employment opportunities. So I want to thank you all so much for participating tonight. I'm excited to hear your stories and to take much of this conversation back to my colleagues on the state school board and in our conversations with the department. So thank you very much, and I'm excited to be here tonight.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Michael, for those opening remarks. Now we're ready to get into our discussion and meet our participants. And y'all, no kidding, there is a huge group of diverse folks here, from schools across the state to the programs that they're in. I am really excited to hear your perspectives. Speaking of those groups, all of these wide experiences are connected to youth employment in our schools across Maryland, including youth apprentices, students enrolled in career and technical education programs, or CTE for short, who are working on obtaining industry-recognized credentials. You'll hear that a lot. Those are also known as IRCs. Students who have completed their IRCs, students who are participating in summer youth employment programs, students who are participating in employment preparation programs connected to community colleges, community college students and CTE workforce and staff, and of course, our school district CTE and apprenticeship coordinators, and the folks that have to be around to make all of this work happen, our employers. With that being said, we have participants from counties all over the state as well. So students from Worcester, Caroline, Frederick, Howard, Montgomery, Anne Arundel, Prince George's, Talbot, Calvert, St. Mary's, Queen Anne's counties, and then Baltimore City. And so I think this might be one of the most diverse groups that we've had in a while, and I'm really appreciative for y'all to be here. Before we transition over to our questions, I'd like to go over a couple of housekeeping items. We are live streaming this community conversation on YouTube. It'll go from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. When you're not speaking, I ask that you please stay muted and use the chat function if we're running short on time and there are additional comments that you'd like to add. As we transition into the questions, we're also looking forward to hearing your honest experiences and innovative ideas, ways that we can improve the experience. We want to hear from our YouTube live viewers as well. So if you're on YouTube Live, feel free to use the chat function, ask your questions, make comments throughout the discussion, and we'll have some time near the end to address those. We'll also try to address a number of additional questions and feedback in the days ahead. Now we're going to start our discussion with students. I'll call on students who indicated they wanted to answer specific questions first. Then, if we're missing some important perspectives, I'll ask those students who want to share to do so that we can hear from a wide range of experiences. Also, if you want to jump in, you can click on the face icon at the bottom of your screen and use the raise hand function. You can see we have a large group tonight, and so we want to hear from as many voices as possible. I'm going to ask that you try to limit your comments to no more than 2 minutes. Before you answer the question, please introduce yourself by sharing your name, your county, if you're a business partner, your position, or if you're a student, let us know if you're participating in an apprenticeship program or if you've worked on earning an industry recognized credential. Sound good? All right, let's hop into the questions. So question 1 for our students: how does this employment experience, our preparation program, align with your career goals or interests, and how has it helped you work towards those goals? I want to first turn the question over to Layla from Worcester County. She is currently working on a process engineer industry recognized credential and would love to hear about your experiences. Layla.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. My name is Layla Mirza. I was a pre-engineering student at Worcester Technical High School in Newark, Maryland, and I have just recently started a new position as a process engineer at Owens Corning. So I make insulation each and every day and love it so much. And what's really cool about my experience is I was in a program and it completely translated into my career. So within that pre-engineering program, there were a lot of different skills, programs, softwares that we were exposed to throughout all of my 4 years of high school. And not only was I able to learn those technical skills, but I was also able to kind of understand how I'm able to use soft skills in my day-to-day. So my day-to-day is not just trying to understand the chemistry behind insulation and the speed and efficiency at which we run, but it's also working with people in maintenance, working with people in operations, trying to coordinate different logistics. So it was a combination of soft and hard skills that I use in my day-to-day that I truly picked up on within my engineering program. When you're 14, 15 years old, there's still a lot of learning and a lot of molding to do. And I really credit a lot of that to the teachers that I had in that program. They made me very confident to be able to walk into this industry and say, you know, I know it's going to be hard. There will be naysayers, but there will also be a lot of people that tell you yes and that help you along the way. So being able to have that kind of interaction with my teachers showed me like, I want to lean on the people that say yes to me. And I do that in my day-to-day. I have naysayers at work. I have people that say yes to me. And I just move in a way that I can do what I need to do in order to get those goals accomplished for the day. So I'm forever grateful for the program that I was in high school.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing, Layla. That's really cool how you're able to take the stuff that you were sort of learning in high school and then apply it to a job that you want to go into. Quick follow-up. Did you know you wanted to go into this field beforehand, or how did you get to this place?
I think I'm one of those like weird minority people that did know what they wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do engineering, and my mom is really big on commitment. So she told me, if you start this 4-year program, you need to finish it. So it was a pretty big decision, but I knew that I had really enjoyed engineering a lot. Part of my difficult decision making was deciding which kind of engineering. And after going through some of the lessons that I learned in that program, I ultimately decided on chemical engineering. So I studied that at Georgia Tech and then proceeded to actually use my degree in my day-to-day.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
I want to turn it now over to Amelia from Crofton High School over in Anne Arundel County. Tell us a little bit about the apprenticeship that you're working on.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Okay,
We
awesome.
can, yep.
So I did the NSA High School Work Study internship, and I learned a lot by asking questions and just asking for more work when I was done with other work, to make sure that I was always busy and making sure that the things I'm getting better at, I'm also not just staying at what I'm already good at, but also like branching out into different fields. So for example, I speak Russian. I was born in Moldova, so it's the first language there. So initially I did a lot of translating work, but then I asked if I could learn how to do computer science things, because that's my major in college that I'll be starting next year. So I wanted to get more experience in that field. And a lot of the work that I'm doing now is more broad. So my management is really awesome. So they let me just focus on the things that I wanted to focus on as well. So I think my biggest advice to anyone is talk to the people that are at a higher position than you are, and don't be scared just because they've been working there for a long time and they might be intimidating. But if you ask for something, they'll probably like try to accommodate you the best you can. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so thank you for that. So I wonder, like, what does a day in the life look like for you in your apprenticeship?
I drive to work and I can never find parking. And
Real world problem.
yeah. I guess I talk to people a lot. I also stay at my computer. I have to find ways to like not get super tired, because I feel like I've gotten really used now to staying at a desk job, because before I wasn't able to just like sit still. So it really taught me to be able to just focus, like when I'm getting distracted, or if someone else, because it's a big office, people can talk loud and sometimes it's hard to like do your work when other people are talking, but you learn things and you learn how to communicate things in a nice way to all the people that are working with you. And it's like a really positive environment, and we all say hi to each other, and it's just doing work. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, thank you very much. Now I want to turn it over to Giselle from Montgomery County. Giselle, you're working with TeenWorks, right? A summer youth employment program over at TeenWorks. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Giselle Cartagena. I am in the TeenWorks in Montgomery County, and I'm also proudly to be in the TeenWorks program. Yeah, so just as there is many positives in the workforce, there can also be many challenges in the workforce. Just a little experience that I went through was definitely there was a little bit of people that were underestimating young people working in the workforce, because I am, yes, still a high school student, but I am very devoted and I love what I do. And I always try to work hard and show that I can do what I can do. And in this challenge, there was a little bump in the road where there was this person that did look down on me just because I was young, and basically that was pretty much it. They're underestimating just because I was young, and that I was a teenager and was from high school. Because yes, there is some teenagers out in the world that aren't as focused, but I want to show that I am very much devoted to what I do, and I love what I do, and that is what happened, and all my hard work paid off, and I'll still continue to work hard in everything I do and devote everything and do everything to 100 and push myself to the limit, because everything I do, I know it will be worth it at the end.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Giselle. Want to move over to Aaliyah from Talbot County, who's working with Upward Bound. So tell us a little bit about that experience and sort of how you got to this place.
Hello, good evening, everybody. My name is Aliyah Shanes Olivio. I'm currently attending the Chesapeake College Upward Bound, and I'm from Talbot County. So for Upward Bound program, I think it has really pushed me, well, not really pushed me, but encouraged many students such as me to do college prep. So during the school days, we do English preparations for essays. And then during the study hall, I go to the computer class. And then our director, Mr. Mark Berry, he usually encourages us to do college research. And eventually, after those 2 weeks of them encouraging us, the students, to do many college research, it was able to help me make my decision on what I want to do as a junior so far, a general idea what I want to do for my career. And then overall, it got me, I was able to meet many great students, many great instructors. I was able to hear many stories from our instructors, what their experience was with college, their college preparations. And I also got to hear many advice on college preparations and what to do with my job. And especially from the director, Mr. Mark Berry, he was able to give me advice on what I should do for my specific college major that I want to go to, such as what college I want to go to, programs. And then he was overall able to help me with a lot of my college pathways. So that's it.
Thank you, Aaliyah. So I'm curious, just a follow-up question, if I might. So I'm wondering how this work experience has maybe solidified your, or maybe even amplified, like your movement into college or even into workforce. Sometimes adults will say, you know, kids are young, like they don't know what they want to do, like they just sort of, you know, will happen upon something at the right time. Do you feel like having an opportunity to move in an apprenticeship program or some sort of work experience has helped you really understand what your passions are? Tell me a little bit about how this has really solidified in your mind what you want to do moving forward.
All right, so basically, especially in our study halls, they encourage us to do like college research, especially. And then so basically, I don't know, like if I like Mr. Mark Berry, he was like really supportive of our decisions. And then basically what solidified my decision on my college pathway and my job pathway was basically just research and them encouraging research and their support for us.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are there any other examples or stories that anybody would like to give on question 1 before we move on to question 2?
If I could add, I would like to.
Of course.
My name's Haley Davis. I am from Caroline County. I attended the Caroline County Career and Technological Center. My program was computer-aided drafting and design and construction. I have plans in the future of going into architecture, which is why I did the program I did. Currently, I just graduated, and this is my second summer working for GKD USA in Cambridge. They design metal paneling and manufacture it, and I am helping them with their fabrication drawings, which means I'm designing blueprints. I'm like in charge of all the detailing work. And sometimes I even do get to design, which I really enjoy. CCTC and my program there definitely helped refine my interests and help me to learn what I want to do moving forward. I'm very lucky that because of CCTC, I got introduced to GKD, and now I have experience in the field that I'll be going into, which is always a good thing. I am going to be attending college for architecture in the fall, and I wouldn't be here without Mr. Cook. He's here in the discussion today because he's the one who convinced me to do CCTC. So yeah, I think I feel very prepared going into my field from what I learned in my program and what I've learned thus far in my internship. I've learned a lot when it comes to, I mean, at school, I learned how to use CAD, I learned the basics, but in my internship, I've learned how to use it professionally. Not only that, I've learned how to act and dress, and, you know, I've learned how to, be professional, and it's been very helpful and very interesting. And I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be able to do all this. So that's all.
That's awesome, Haley. So tell me a little bit about the courses that you took, the high school courses that you took to prepare you for this.
So I did 2 semesters at CCTC, which is like the average for most of the programs we have there. And it was 3 periods every day for both semesters. I did it. So we would always start off our day in the classroom doing, we used AutoCAD. CAD stands for computer-aided drafting. We would use that to at first we were just practicing, but eventually we got to design and draw stuff that eventually we did in the shop. Because like I said, it was a construction course as well. So we would eventually, we got to sheds and stuff. We drew out all the studding, the walls, site plans, elevation plans, all that kind of stuff, and brought it to life, which was very, very cool to see it go from point A to point B. And I've talked to people in architecture before that have told me that being able to know how it goes from point A, the drawing, to point B, the actual building, is a very important part of being an architect. That's because there's some architects that don't understand that, and there's some that just don't have the experience to understand that. And having it is very helpful because you can draw anything you want, but that doesn't mean it's always going to work. So I definitely got a lot of experience in that. So sorry, I know I'm a little long-winded.
No, that was really excellent detail. And I know it's helpful for folks that are trying to decide what courses do I take if I want to end up going into a particular field.
Yeah, that was the thing about CCTC. We are a very small school. We didn't have I've seen other schools, technical schools, that have all the options in the world. We're a little bit more limited just because we're a smaller county. But I feel like there's definitely something for everybody, no matter what. So yeah, I just took the course that was best suited for me.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for sharing that. I want to go over to Carla now from Worcester Technical High School. You graduated from the cosmetology program, right? Did I get that right?
Hello. Yes, I did graduate from Worcester Technical High School, and I was in the cosmetology program. the employment experience helped me a lot with my career goal because I was able to work hands-on in a salon. I was able to use what I learned in the program in the salon while working with other cosmetologists who are in the same industry as me. Not only was I able to start working right away in the salon, but I was also able to learn from those other cosmetologists while also building my clientele. This field also, it allowed me to gain clients while working and while expanding my knowledge and using what I learned in the program that Ms. Hands and Ms. Watson taught me. This allowed me to also expand my knowledge because I was able to learn other services in the beauty industry after I graduated. That led me into actually doing lash extensions, which now I own my own lash studio business. It's very successful. I have a full clientele now, and I do that every single day. So it really helps me because now I own my own business, and it's really helped me just be where I am now. Ms. Hands and Ms. Watson in the cosmetology program spend a lot of time with us, teaching us everything we need to know as far as, skin, nails, hair, everything possible that we need to get our cosmetology licenses and be able to successfully go out in the workforce. They also, I think this is a great program for students because if you're passionate about cosmetology, Ms. Hands and Ms. Watson will do everything they can to get you to graduate with your license. They teach us everything as far as spending time, in the classroom, studying to actually going out on the salon floor that Worcester Technical High School provides for us. It's also a lot of fun because we did a lot of educational field trips, such as like the New York Hair Show, where we were able to see and learn many new things that are happening in the cosmetology industry. But Ms. Hands and Ms. Watson overall, they will guide you every step of the way. And Ms. Hands is here currently. So thanks to her, I'm able to now have a successful lash business, and she prepared me for everything. So I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, that is really cool how you are now a business owner based on what you learned. And I know the lash industry is ridiculously successful. My wife and my daughter spend countless dollars at the lash studio. So tell me a little bit, before you graduated high school, did you earn your cosmetology license, or how did that work?
Yes, so we spent 3 years in the program, and in those 3 years, they prep us to learn everything so that by the end of the year, they take us to our state board exams and we are able to pass them successfully. So when we graduate high school, we already have our cosmetology license. And before we even graduate, with having our cosmetology license, we can go out and work into a salon right away. And you can start doing like nails or hair or whatever it is that you're interested in. And Ms. Hands and Ms. Watson also help us with trying to help find us salons to work in. And they support us up until the very end.
Yeah, that's incredible. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
I want to jump over now to St. Mary's County to talk with Lilia. Now, Lilia, you are at James A. Forrest CTE Center, and you were just elected a Skills USA National Officer representing Maryland. So congratulations to that.
Thank you.
Tell us about your experiences with industry credentials or apprenticeships and work-based training programs.
So thank you for the introduction. My name is Lilia Burks. I'm from St. Mary's County. I attend the Dr. James A. Forrest Career and Technology Center, and I'm in the IT networking program there, which is 3 years. And through the Apprenticeship Maryland program, I'm also in an internship at Naval Systems Incorporated, which is in the IT field and has helped me grow in my skills. I want to pursue a career in IT, and my internship has given me the opportunity to explore many different facets of it. We've worked in hardware and software, which is an extension of the work I did in my CTE program. I've grown in my professional development and adaptability through both my career and technical education program and involvement in an organization like Skills USA. And in my internship, I've had the chance to apply those skills in the field that I want to pursue for the rest of my life.
Through this internship, I've received mentorship, both relating to IT and my professional career. The value of certifications and also further education has really been stressed, and I'm really thankful for the adults that are present in that workplace, because they really have given me, more light on what I want to do in the future. Because now, after only really a month of working there, and I'll continue working there through probably May of my senior year, after only a month of working there, I already feel so much clearer on the path I want to take after high school graduation. So overall, I've not only grown in my skills in the field I want to pursue, but also it's further solidified my confidence in pursuing it.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And also, again, just congratulations. It's a huge honor to be a state officer, national officer for skills. So really proud of that. I want to move on now to question 2. And so this is a question that you had indicated you want to answer. It is your time to shine. So question 2 is, what are some of the challenges you faced during this employment preparation program or experience? And then how did you overcome those challenges? So first, to answer this question, I'm going to kick it over to Andorra from Frederick County. Andorra Corley here.
Yes, sorry about that. My experiences working in the youth apprentice program so far have been very good. It was a bit of a challenge at first trying to get into it and to start thinking about what I wanted to do and just how to get involved in the workforce. But right when I saw it, I saw the opportunity to not just get a job, but to get a meaningful one, to where I can use my skills of kind of what I already have, what I've learned from school, and then just naturally to kind of put them to use. And getting into that, building a resume, going into interviews, and just overall getting into the experience was fairly smooth sailing. And then when I actually got to my job, I worked at a manufacturing company. I knew briefly of kind of what I was getting into, and how I would kind of approach this, but then it was a lot more than I thought it would be. And I was kind of open to this whole new world of, okay, this is the task that I have to do. I have to, use these skills. I have to do these certain tasks in order to get the job done. And so it definitely challenged me in that regard to really push myself and step outside of my comfort zone of what I've normally done.
No, and I appreciate you sharing that. That's, certainly something that is a real life sort of issue that happens, right? Sometimes it's hard to have this responsibility, this job, show up on time, do the things, get along with people. It's sort of all of those things that we all maybe sort of were introduced to way back in elementary, but now we actually have to do it in real life in a workforce. And sometimes that can be really challenging. And so I appreciate you sharing those with us. I want to shift over to Jakaya from Worcester Technical High School, who's working Remy's Cosmetology, I believe. Jakaya.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm great.
I struggle with infection control, how to do hairstyles, hands-on and everything. And our teachers, Miss Hands and Miss Watson, did everything they could to make us feel comfortable and be able to do the hands-on. And we did test after test after test. They made us write it down and write the question down, write the answer down, study it. Even our classmates also helped us. They had we had did Kahoot challenges. We did a lot of things to help us work on what really needed to work on to get our credentials. And it was a lot of work, but we actually put the time in, the effort and everything, and everybody passed. And I would like to thank my teachers and everything for that. And they even took us to take our exams, and we all passed. So yeah, we did a lot, but it's very good. I'm not good at talking, but yeah, we did a lot of stuff, and it really paid off because now I'm a cosmetologist. I work in a salon, and I braid hair and everything. Yeah.
You are great at talking. You don't even worry about that. So one of the challenges that I hear pretty often from students is just trying to balance the amount of time that it takes to complete an industry credential or a license, or even an entire CTE program of study. How did you balance the time?
I actually played a sport also. So after I get done with my sports, I will go study after school. I would study after we would have like a little time between our practice and after school. I would study then, and I would also study when I got home also. And then we had a little bit time in between classes to study to get the work done.
All right, thank you, Chikaya.
Thank you.
All right, now let's go to Sarah from Frederick County. Sarah, you are doing a patient access registration apprenticeship. Tell us about some of the challenges that you faced with that and how you've overcome them. Sarah, I think you might be on mute if you're talking.
I know Cherish is ready to share, and so is Thomas. So maybe we can go to them. And Sarah, if you're able to share, go ahead and hop on camera and let us know your thoughts.
Great. So we'll go to Cherish from Talbot County.
Hi, my name's Cherish Roberts, and I'm going into my junior year at Easton High School. I would like to be in an apprenticeship, and I had the opportunity to be in one, but unfortunately it didn't work out. But some challenges I faced while preparing was balancing school, my job, plus that, and I was getting so stressed out. I was falling behind on my work. My job skills weren't the best. So what I did to overcome them is I took a pause with the apprenticeship, and I put my schoolwork and my job before, because as this apprenticeship would have been a good opportunity for me, but my schoolwork comes first because I need an education. I need to graduate so I can go to college, because my dream job is a RN. And to be that, you have to go to school, get your education. You can't slack, you can't fall behind. So what I did is I set up an organized schedule. During the mornings, I'm in school, I'm doing all my work. And then when I got home, I'd prepare for the apprenticeship. And then if I had to work, I'd work. But most importantly, what got me through these challenges were taking a break. Like, I wasn't overworking myself, because by me overworking myself, that's not going to be good for anybody. And all the things that I was doing I was gonna fail at it. So yeah, just by me taking a break for myself and putting myself first and taking a break on everything else really helped me.
All right, thank you, Cherish. That sounds like some good strategies for students who are feeling a bit overwhelmed. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
When I go over to Thomas now, Howard County, a senior living home CNA apprenticeship. Tell us about that.
Hi, my name is Thomas. I'm from Howard County, Maryland. I go to Reservoir High School. I'm a rising senior. I'm in this apprenticeship program as a CNA, which stands for Certified Nursing Assistant. What's so cool about this program is that, like, there's so much stuff, but that's also what struggle. So basically like it kind of happened really fast is that we really like started from activities and then we went to dietary and then you go to nursing. So dietary is basically you just learn all about all the food facts and all, like the nutrition, which was like all kind of fast. And then it went to activities and stuff like that, where you get to really talk with the seniors that live at the home. And then that's when it's come to nursing, which is like a super like fast pace. It kind of comes to you at like 2 to 3 weeks. And I was kind of like stressing myself out. I was like, you have to take vitals, you have to take charts, and you have to remember like this person can't eat that. Like it's really like not really just about yourself as like an intern and being part of this program. It's like there's other people that you have to care about as well. So that's what I like really struggled with. I was like, this is not just about me. Like, this is not just for me. Like, I'm here to take care of people because this is what I want to do. But I guess the way that like I got over it and just not to stress myself, because I also do relate a lot to as what Cherish was saying. I'm also a student. I'm a student athlete. You know, school comes first and things like that. And I feel like I struggle with that a lot. But I really just talked to the people at Lorien at the senior living home, saying like, hey, what's the best way that I can adapt to this environment? Because I love working with patients and being in the medical field. My mom is in the medical field, so I've grown up with that. So I just wanted to get used to that to myself. She just said, just take things slow. Like if I needed assistance, I could ask for assistance. If I needed some time off, I can take some time off. So like right now, like I'm in activities. I went back to activities because right now I can't really do nursing with all of my over the summer sports and things like that. So I'm just taking things slow, and I feel like that really like everyone in that community at Lorien just kind of helped me like adapt and just take everything slow, and just because everything in the nursing world is kind of just super fast paced. So I think that's just one thing that I struggled with, but I adapted. So
No, I think between you and Cherish's experiences, you know, self-care is really important, like making sure that you're taking care of yourself so that you can take care of others is not only something I think we learned during pandemic, but also a good way to just make sure that you're showing up for your best self at work too. And so something that I think even adults continue to try to balance in jobs. So I appreciate Thomas, you sharing those things. I don't have any additional folks that had said they wanted to respond to question 2 about challenges and how you overcame them. Want to give an opportunity if there's anybody else who would like to weigh in before we go to question 3. Hi, Sarah. I see your hand up.
Hi, I was actually supposed to be speaking. I just had a Wi-Fi issue, so I like disconnected. I'm back.
Welcome back. All right, so we were talking about some of the challenges and then how you overcame them. So feel free to take it away.
Hi, I am Sarah Thingalvadi. I live in Frederick County. I work in the emergency department in patient registration. One of the challenges I had was I actually started my apprenticeship last summer and I worked in the call center. But like upon trying to continue it, because I didn't have my full hours to get my certificate, I tried continuing it this beginning of this summer, and they told me that they had been outsourced and I couldn't work there anymore. So I didn't have a place to like continue my hours. So I just like tried working it out with my work learning coordinator, and she did tell me that if we can't find a place, that I wouldn't get the chance to earn my certificate. So we just tried contacting people, and there was like no other place that could like continue. That she told me that they had to be like approved and everything. And then I contacted my supervisor and I was like, please, is there anything you can do? And she gave me the contact for someone who works at the hospital. And this time it would be in person, which was kind of like nerve-wracking for me, because I chose a call center because I knew that I wouldn't have to like interact with people, and I get kind of like nervous when I'm talking to people in person. But this was a good opportunity to get more experience with that. So I accepted, and now I am continuing it, and I think it's definitely more exciting and interesting, because and it's like a lot of more opportunities for learning because I have to deal with a lot of people who are different and they all react differently. And I have had to like deal with some problems, so that's nice. Another one of the challenges I faced was like when I first got there, everything seemed so like it seemed like a lot, and I was like overwhelmed because I didn't know how I was going to remember all this, how I was going to do on my own. So I tried shadowing and training with as many people as I could, and just trying to get like work myself up to the point of being ready. And when it finally came time for them to say, hey, we want to put you on your own schedule and we want to get you out there on your own, I told them I wasn't ready because I was still not fully caught up on the insurance like verifications. So I just told them I wasn't ready and I wanted to postpone it a couple more. They were completely fine with it and said that I could train for a little more.
Yeah, sometimes persistence and communication is the way to go. So it sounds like that has helped out and worked out really well for you. So thank you for sharing that. Cameron and Tara, I do see your hands up. I'm being told we need to move on to question 3. But Cameron, I want to give you an opportunity to take the first crack at this next question. So what advice would you give to other students who are considering pursuing an industry recognized credential, apprenticeship, or other employment preparation program? What's your best advice, Cameron?
So hi, I'm Cameron. I went to CCTC, which is in Caroline County. I took cosmetology there, and some advice I would give to people is to really get into a salon early on. You'll struggle a lot because you won't learn as much in like the class that you will learn in school. Another thing I would say, like I took mine during COVID, so I had to struggle with state boards. So we pretty much learned off of Zoom. So your mannequin's your best friend, and make sure you practice at home. Don't just practice in school. Another thing I would say is to make sure like you know like what you're taking. Like don't sign up for a class that you don't know what it's about. Like it's a lot of time, a lot of effort that you're putting into it. Another thing I would say is that apprenticeships can help you get into your employment. Like I apprenticed at a salon and I worked there full time, and I started off my summer of my senior year, and now I own my chair and I have a full book. But it takes time to know that you're going to start off slow and then you have to go through that slow part to go further on.
Awesome. Thanks, Cameron.
Thank you.
Now I want to go over to Haja from Montgomery County, who's at TeenWorks.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hatu Kamala, and I live in Montgomery County representing the TeenWorks program. Some advice I have for students is don't underestimate apprenticeships and employment preparation programs. I feel like a lot of times, like with me starting the TeenWorks program, my mom was like, you can't get a regular job, you know, like at McDonald's or something. You have to focus on your school, which I appreciate it more than ever, because I feel as though the TeenWorks preparation program could have been like the best thing for me then and now. I think that it's very important to try new experiences and don't follow everyone's general idea. With the TeenWorks program, so I actually been with them for over 7 years, and I just graduated college at the University of Maryland. So I focused within the recreation department, and within that, I started with the parks. And I always knew that I wanted to be a physician, but recreation was my passion in terms of working with kids, community engagement, things like that. So I still went to school. I majored in public health, and I'm continuing my education as well. But the internship that I landed was with the National Institutes of Health. And I ended up getting a job with them. I'm currently here right now, but I'm just saying that a lot of people belittled like me staying and being committed to this TeenWorks program, which I started at the age of 15 in 9 months. But it gave me a gateway into the workforce, and I couldn't be more grateful. So I think it's important to don't be afraid to try different experiences and try new things. A lot of these programs are out here to help us, and they teach us a lot of life skills and professional development that fast food industries and other direct work employment opportunities don't. Another thing is that to find what works for you, flexibility, which I'm very appreciative with the TeenWorks program. They gave me a lot of, I was able to go through college and still be able to, you know, work with the TeenWorks program, accommodating to my schedule. In the summertime, they understand that you're a student. So I heard a lot of people share a lot of challenges. And I think that was also one of my fears about balancing school, which was my priority, but also sustaining some sort of income. So I think that people should take the risk and participate in apprenticeship and employment preparatory programs, because you never know how that, it may not be your desire to be in that specific job field, but you never know how that experience is going to impact you in the future. So I'm very grateful to be a part of such an enrichment program that the county offers.
Aja, I think the next time I need to find somebody to help me create an advertisement to sell these programs, you are the one. Like, that was some really great advice. I now want to shift a little bit to questions for our staff members. So these are going to be folks that work on the campuses who support all of these amazing students that we've been able to hear from tonight. And this work on the campus, clearly you've heard the shout outs, wouldn't happen without such an incredible cast. So for the next question, this will be directed to our staff members. How do you ensure a student's employment experience aligns with their interests, skills, and long-term goals? And to start that off, I'm going to head over to Carrie Akins from Calvert County, who's a principal and CT director for the Career and Technology Academy there. Hi, friend.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Yeah, first, I just want to give a shout out to all the students who did such an incredible job. And I think that it speaks their ability to speak to what they've done in their program. And I think one of the first students even mentioned that speaks to how these programs don't just prepare students in their technical skills, but prepare them in their professional skills. I know I've had so many students in our building who talk so much about the importance of, you know, obviously they learned the actual hard skills they needed to complete various jobs and be successful there, but coming out of their shells and their soft skills and being able to address a big group of people like this and be live streamed. So kudos to all of you. So I think when we're talking about how we align students' interests to their work experiences, I think one of the very best parts actually comes in the exploration. And although some of the students tonight, I know, mentioned that they had a good idea of what it was they wanted to do, a lot of the students that I work with, often when they come in, they have a general idea of what they want to do, but they don't know exactly what it is. And what I have found over time is that we get them into a work experience or matched up with an employer where they can start trying things out and grow to apply their skills and continue to grow them and find their niche, right? So, for example, I had a student that was very successful this year working in maritime industries and boat repair who was in our automotive program, right? So being able to take some of those technical skills and apply in a slightly different way to something that he really enjoys and is sticking with. So I think that working with students in those early courses in CT is really important. So I think that as we continue to grow, especially our apprenticeship programs and things like that, the bridge that is between our existing CTE programs and coursework in earlier grades and high school into those apprenticeships and then later into employment are really important, because those early classes can really help the kids to explore different ideas of what they might want to do.
Thank you for that. Now I'd sort of like to get a community college perspective on how you work with students to align their interests to careers. And so for that, I'm going to turn to Dr. David Harper, who's the Vice President for Workforce and Academic Programs at Chesapeake College. Dr. Harper.
Dr. Kincaid, can you hear me?
I can. There you are. Hello.
I apologize as my internet connection appears, it's generally strong, it appears unstable, so I'm off camera. But I did want to just take a moment to add to that point, to echo the previous point, which is excellent, starting early, because many times if students are freshmen or even sophomores, they've already kind of decided with their parents that they may be headed in a more traditional college direction. I certainly was, even if they don't know which college or which pathway. But if they can get an experience even earlier, as soon as middle school, of what kinds of exciting jobs are in their own backyard, it's something I never had and wish I had, because I serve a rural area, Chesapeake, and shout out to Aaliyah and Haley, who are in that area and did an exceptional job. But too many of our young people think they need to leave Maryland's Eastern Shore to find great job opportunities or to support their families. So if they can get a sense of the exciting tech and health professions and ag and computer science jobs that are in their own backyards, even as early as middle school, then that really helps shape their trajectory. And so community colleges can help with that just through tours, because we have exciting labs with the Workforce Investment Board. And the other thing that we can do is really showing is better than telling. So, you know, you can talk, but we've all seen Charlie Brown and we know what the adults sound like. But if a student has the opportunity to walk through a lab or maybe meet an employer in the classroom, or a faculty member who's excited and passionate about the work, then that can start a spark that leads into a career that student never would have imagined was possible.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Dr. Harper. It kind of goes along with the saying, like, if you can see it, you can be it. And so having that early exposure really helps students decide how they're going to be scheduling their classes, and then eventually how that's going to translate into sort of what's next, like after graduation. So I appreciate you adding those words. I want to go now to Minna Wu from Howard Community College to talk a little bit about apprenticeship pathways. Minna?
Hello, everyone. I'm Minna Wu. I'm the Vice President of Workforce Innovation and Strategic Partnerships at Howard Community College. First of all, I want to say I'm so blown away by all the students who have joined us tonight. You guys are simply amazing, and the kind of experiences you've had and the self-actualizations that you've had puts you way ahead of the pack, and you guys are going to be so successful in your life. And second, I think the blueprint for Maryland education and its focus on college and career readiness at early in age is going to be really a game changer. Because what we see is that a lot of times these students come into college thinking they want to do something, and so many of them end up changing majors. And sometimes even worse, what we see is that students have completed their advanced degrees, have a 4-year degree, and then start their job and realize they don't like it, they hate it. And they come back to us into registered apprenticeship programs and they start all over again. And imagine the amount of wasted time that we had of the student as well as our employers. They could have gotten their workforce so much earlier had they come into some kind of a registered apprenticeship program or a career pathway. So I think what we're doing here in Maryland is going to be hugely successful, and I'm very interested in seeing how that sort of comes to fruition. So as for the registered apprenticeship pathways, I think it is really important that we do this in collaboration with our partners. So all of our registered apprenticeship programs, both in our school district as well as at the community college, we have come together to create a publication that shows the pathway that our students can take starting in high school and then continuing at the college. And we have registered programs register apprenticeship programs in both the traditional areas of, the electrical, HVAC, and plumbing, but also in non-traditional areas like surgical technology, LPN, IT, cybersecurity, and so on. So there's a lot of ways that students in high school can try these different occupations out before they make the commitment. And if they find out that they don't like it, then you've just saved yourself 2 to 4 years of going to school to find out you didn't like it. So having these early exposures and finding out what your interests are and how your skills align to those interests will be very beneficial for students.
Thank you very much for that. And so the comments from Ms. Akins and Dr. Harper and Dr. Wu spurred some additional sort of advice from a couple of our students. So want to give an opportunity for George from Howard County. George is a IEC school to apprenticeship student working to be an electrician. So I want to hear a little bit from George about some advice he would give to students in these fields. George, you might be muted.
Hello.
There you are. Hi, George.
Hi, how you doing? Hold on, let me turn on my camera. All right, how you doing? My name's George. I'm with the IEC right now. I work at JM Mullen Electric. And some advice I'll give to you is just stick it through, because sometimes it can get hard. In the beginning for me, it got hard. And then once I got used to it, it got way easier. So if you feel like you're going to quit and all that, just don't. Because it might seem like this isn't the best option for you, but it honestly is, because IEC helped me a lot. At first, I was in high school. I didn't know what to do. But then I found Miss Paula. She helped me out. We talked a little. She gave me this choice. I took the career path. And now I'm happy, honestly.
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing. I noticed, George, when you started talking about your experience, the amazing Grant Schmelzer's face lit up as soon as he heard IEC. So I know he runs a tight ship over there, and you're learning a lot. So thanks for that very much. And then the last piece that I want to do is turn it over to, Jenna Danner. Jenna, you wanted to add some advice as well.
Hello. Yeah, I did. For what other students, so I am a licensed cosmetologist now. I just graduated 3 months ago, and I graduated with my license. Miss Hands and Miss Watson too. They were my teachers. They were excellent. I actually struggled with the writing portion of the test. I did not pass it. I did it 3 times. I did not pass the other 2 times. I kept pushing and trying, and I was putting myself down each time. And then Miss Watson and Miss Hands just kept pushing me forward. They gave me books after books after books, and were like, study this every night, do this. And I also had sports too. I was a wrestler at Stephen Decatur too. And not only did I work out like 5 times a day, I was also studying and just working myself overboard. And then woke up at like early in the morning to study even more. And I am recently working to start my own business. I have made my own business cards and everything like that. I am starting to market myself even more. I have 2 Instagram profiles. I am posting a bunch of pictures on there what I'm doing. I am doing hair, lashes, body sculpting, also known as body contouring. I'm getting more clients every day. My book is filling up, and I'm actually doing free children haircuts before back to school, free haircuts for little kids. And I'm getting at least 5 to 6 kids a day doing their hair and helping parents out. It's to help them and sponsor myself as well and getting out there. If I didn't have Miss Hands or Miss Watson, I wouldn't be where I am today. They gave a bunch of us job offers, and I put in application after application. I just never stopped, and it's a good start. And I put my foot through the door, and that's all I can start with and say.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Jenna. It sounds like you and Carla are crushing it on the businesses. So way to go for that.
Thank you.
Wanna move on now to our second question for staff. It's how do you collaborate between school districts, businesses, and higher education partners to develop youth employment programs? And for that, I want to head over to Caroline County Public Schools with Eric Cook, who is our Youth Apprenticeship Coordinator. Eric.
Hi, Richard. Thank you. I'm going to give Dave Harper a shout out over in his team at Chesapeake because it literally answers the question of, he mentioned that we're a rural area and a lot of the bigger businesses are ones that work with multiple counties. So about halfway through last year, we actually started setting up all of the Upper Shore counties that Chesapeake covers. We meet every other month and all of our youth apprenticeship coordinators go there. The CTE folks and skilled trades folks at Chesapeake are there. We even occasionally get Jennifer Griffin and Pam Clay out there to provide some extra support and guidance. And we really just talk about some of the challenges and issues and things we have going on. And we're able to kind of work through those as a united front, as opposed to just trying to deal with the same problem in 5 different spots. So that's the system we found, beneficial for us. And, we appreciate David and the team over at Chesapeake, and, we have a great collaborative team on the Upper Shore here.
Yep, I always enjoy visiting Eastern Upper Shore schools. So way to go with all of those programs. Now I want to head over to Baltimore County Public Schools, our CTE AMP coordinator, Miss Alicia.
Thank you. So much has already been said to show the value of this. In Baltimore County, we have work-based learning coordinators who are school-based, and they are working to get to know the students. And they are the ones who are then able to know what the students' interests are and to help students see things that they may not have known that they didn't know. How many careers are out there and what is the variety of fields that are out there, that it's not just doctor, teacher, nurse, lawyer, firefighter, that there are so many other things that they can do and to help them see. And that's where the work-based learning coordinator really helps to provide equity, because if a student doesn't have a connection in the community, then that work-based learning coordinator can help that student connect into a business partner who may be able to provide that opportunity that the student may want to give a try and hadn't really thought about or had the opportunity to go into. So once they identify the students and work with them to see what their interests are, then we connect into the business partners. And those connections are made at the school level, working through local businesses, local chambers of commerce, the Workforce Development Council, to tie into what's available in the community to help students build those networks, to really learn, who are they going to call upon? What kind of courses should I take in college? What kind of work should I look for? And their mentors can certainly help advise on those things. But we pull the businesses in really for 3 purposes: to advise on our curriculum, to volunteer with our students with things like guest speaking in the classroom or job shadowing, or providing mock interviews or participating in career day events, and then to hire our students. Once they see, and you can see easily how wonderful kids are, then we want them to hire our students, to take them for apprenticeships, to provide those opportunities. And when we have those opportunities for them, then we have to look for what is that related instruction. And, through the Apprenticeship Maryland program, we're able to offer many more opportunities than just in our CTE programs. If a kid wants to do something that we may not have a CTE program for, if we can find a company, then we could apprentice that to really expand the options that are available to students. And then we need to look for our local colleges, our professional associations, the unions, and we partner with all of them then to work to provide that related instruction. So it truly is a team effort with the school system and the partners, the business community, the higher education, professional associations, to make sure that we are expanding opportunities and building the networks for those students.
No, I agree with absolutely everything you said. It really does take an entire village of folks, secondary, post-secondary business partners, all of the support, wraparound services. It takes all of us to make sure that these programs are successful. So I'm really appreciative that you called out all of those things, and great work there in your school system.
Thanks.
Baltimore County's doing some great things. Now I want to go to our third and final question for our staff members. How can apprenticeship programs and industry recognized credentials improve and grow to create more opportunities for students? So certainly this is one of the things that we're thinking a lot about as blueprint for Maryland's future is being rolled out and implemented in our school systems across the state. So first, I want to head over to Patricia Hands. Ms. Hands is a cosmetology instructor there in Worcester County.
Hi, how are you tonight?
Doing great. You have been, I have heard your name called out from students so often tonight. So you must be doing something incredibly well. So I'm glad that you could join us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I love what I do. I think that it's really, really important to make sure that you aligned what the students' needs are versus what their goals are and where they're going and how they're going to get there. And I started just as well as they did. I went through Vo-Tech. It was Vo-Tech when I went through. So I walked in their shoes. I sat in their chairs. I had the anxiety. I felt it. I had to build myself up just like they did. And I went to school later prior to becoming a teacher. And knowing what I went through, I also managed a salon for 16 years. So I know I did the hiring, I did the everything, run the whole business. And I know what the employers are looking for. So therefore I treat my classroom just as a professional classroom. So they're ready when they go out there. I try to ease that anxiety and build relationships with them and get to know them as a person, and then network with community partners and go into the salons, get to know their business, how they conduct it, what the atmosphere is like, so I can help place the students so they are comfortable in the environment and don't feel overwhelmed or anxious. So they can go right in, feel comfortable, get behind the chair, learn, make sure it's a good learning environment for them, and there's room for growth. So going and visiting the salons, visiting the students while they're at their apprenticeship, talking to the employers, what they want from them, what the students need from me while they're there. Just because they're out and doing their apprenticeship, I'm still there to help them. And making sure they know that. I still have kids message me today and say, hey, how's it going? And how can we help? So I think just staying on that pathway and being open-minded, and you have to change with times, and you have to know there's bumps in the road. And that's one of my things I really try to teach them and install them, that you have to change with times, and there's going to be times where it's going to change drastically in a second, and you just got to be ready and go with the flow. So just trying to prepare them for the world and what's out there.
Absolutely. Thank you for everything that you do for our students every day, preparing them for jobs and career. Speaking of career, I want to give our employers an opportunity to provide some feedback on this also. Some ways that we can continue to improve, to offer additional opportunities. And so I'll open it up to Grant, to John, to Jaden, any sort of feedback that you all would like to provide.
Sure, Richard, I'll kick us off. Good evening, everybody. Great job to the students, and I'll say the teachers, the coordinators, and everybody. I'm Grant Schmelzer. I'm the CEO of the Independent Electrical Contractors. We actually just recently graduated our first cohort of students. that started our school to apprenticeship program, Apprenticeship Maryland program. They just completed after high school, after taking their year one of apprenticeship during high school, they just completed our 4-year apprenticeship program. And it was just so rewarding, and we continue to grow with our partners. For IEC, we're working with so many of the partners on here. For us, it's college and career, because for many apprenticeship programs in the state of Maryland, we are aligned with our community college system. So for the parents and for some of our educators that aren't aware of that, in our program, depending upon the community college, we're partnered with 7 different community colleges in the state. It's a little different in each community college. You can get up to upwards of 30 some odd credits. So that's important for our parents to know about, as well as the individual guidance counselors and people that have an impact. But the biggest thing that I want to share is that this goal that has been set forth, it is going to take the entire village to get there. So if you're a parent and you're employed, think about where a student could possibly fill in your organization. What does that look like? Because what we've been doing necessarily hasn't been working, which is why the General Assembly passed this legislation. For us, we are the largest 4-year apprenticeship program in the state. We are projecting 32 youth apprentices. And for us, they're coming from 4 different counties. So we're taking collaborative efforts within the counties as well to bring the stakeholders together. We currently are running over 1,000 apprentices in our apprenticeship program. So we have to work together. We have to problem solve. We are learning something new every single year. We're trying to provide guidance where we can to other industries. I will say, in terms of some of the barriers, just so parents are aware, and I think our school partners can agree to this, transportation, especially in the construction industry, being mobile and being able to get to the job sites. And again, especially in our rural parts of our state, where you have employers that have opportunities, but they may not necessarily be located in the county where the students are going to school. So we have to continue to learn from these experiences and improve the system. And my hope is, from IEC's perspective, that we are going to continue to increase our numbers, because our employers, and we have over 200 participating employers across the state, it just wasn't working for them. The traditional thing of hiring individuals, and our employers made a strategic decision and had me with our team, Paula as George and Mike and Alexa on our team. They said, you know what, we'd rather take somebody with little or no experience and spend additional time with them rather than changing potentially an older student that has some bad habits. So it's incumbent upon us to also point that out to employers who are hesitant, and we have to be the leaders in working with the employers within the community to change their mindset and say, hey, you have to be part of the solution. And that is a commitment to taking maybe 1 student to start, and that goes to 2 students, and then that goes to 3 students. And oh, by the way, even though you have competitors out in the marketplace, help us get them to help our young people across the state of Maryland. So I'm excited about this. We got lots of work to do, and we're all going to work together, but we all have to be continuing to promote and looking at opportunities for our young people to get them the industry recognized credentials through apprenticeship and provide more and more options for them, because that's our obligation.
I appreciate that, Grant. I think all of that is well said. John or Jaden, would you add anything to that? Okay, so I want to close out recognizing Latifa Durant to sort of round out this question for us. Latifa, if you could introduce yourself and then talk about how apprentice programs and IRC programs can be improved to create more opportunities for students from your perspective.
Absolutely. Thank you, Richard. Well, first, thank you to all the students that have joined us for the conversation this evening. Your perseverance, your tenacity, just your entrepreneurship, it has just been such an inspiration to all of us who do this work. And so congratulations to you, and just encourage you to continue to keep up the hard work, and encourage your friends to take advantage of youth employment opportunities as well. Again, my name is Latifa Durant. I'm the Vice President of Innovation at CityWorks DC. I also sit on the Maryland Apprenticeship and Training Council. And to answer your question, Richard, around what's needed to grow and create more apprenticeship opportunities for students, I would say there's two important ingredients needed to expand apprenticeship opportunities, and it's business engagement and school flexibility. So in order to grow apprenticeship opportunities, employer engagement is paramount. So I appreciate our employer partners like Grant, right, who are willing to engage and to work with schools and to work with community college. It's not easy, it can be messy, but without employer buy-in and commitments, it's really impossible to provide more opportunities for young people. And then that when employers do hire young people, it needs to be for a sufficient amount of time for employers to see a return on their training investment. So that way they keep investing in students. It also requires that young people are able to spend sufficient time with a business to master an occupation and provide value to the business. To learn at work, students have to be allowed to go to work, right? Working a couple of hours for a few days a week really isn't enough time to really learn at work, or for a business to realize the value that a young person can bring to their business. I would say regarding industry credentials, just this morning, I received an email from one of our business partners letting me know that Janae and Marcella, two of our apprentices, earned their industry certifications as Fitwel ambassadors. So for folks who don't know what Fitwel is, it's a national certification to ensure sustainable, healthy buildings. And so these two high school apprentices working at an architecture firm in their sustainability department. And so what I've learned from my experience working with businesses is that employers are really the best people to tell you which credentials are recognized and valued in their industry. You can have 10 different apprentices working in 10 different IT firms, and each firm will have a value, they'll value a different certification based on their needs, based on their specialty area, based on the apprenticeship occupation that they're filling. So instead of prescribing a particular certification for a particular occupation, we work with employers at CityWorks DC to build what we call training plans for each apprentice. And in the training plan, the employer selects the academic or training courses. They select the mode of learning, whether it's in person, online, hybrid. They select the certifications that their apprentice will pursue, as well as when each of these learning opportunities is going to occur. So I would just say for apprenticeship and for industry certifications to really have meaning, we really have to make sure that it's business-led and employer-driven, and that our schools are able to be flexible to meet the needs of employers as well.
Great. Thank you very much, Latifa, for that. That does wrap up our questions for tonight. I do want to acknowledge a comment from our YouTube live channel. So I want to give a shout out and a thanks to Mike Berry from Upward Bound for joining us on YouTube Live tonight. Mike's comments were to our students. Jason Schroeder says, amazing, inspiring stories, amazing examples of what's possible with youth employment programs. So we do hope that all of you share and continue to share with your parents and business partners and colleagues our recording that will be available through YouTube, so that this conversation can expand beyond just the viewership that we had tonight. So with that being said, on behalf of State Superintendent Choudhury. I want to thank the community conversation participants this evening and the YouTube live viewers for joining us today for this conversation on youth employment. To find out more about the strategic plan and how the strategic plan supports all of the work that you heard about tonight, I would encourage you to visit strategicplan.marylandpublicschools.org. And to learn more about the blueprint that you may have heard about several times tonight also, you can find that at blueprint.marylandpublicschools.org. We'll also post those links in the various chats so that they're easily accessible for you. And also, please do share these resources with your friends, colleagues, and others in the local community, because the work that we're doing in our community, in our state, for our students, for our post-secondary and secondary programs and the future of our workforce, it's too important not to share. And so please join in to those conversations any way that you can. I do appreciate your time tonight and do wish all of you the very best of luck in the future.